Hey, yo, in this video, I'm going to react to Nick Cannon's VladTV interview and cover some topics that are probably going to make most of us uncomfortable. Hey, yo, what's going on? My name is Ruslan, hip-hop artist, creative entrepreneur with kingsdreament.com. This channel exists to encourage, empower, inspire you to live out God's dream for your life. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. If you've been around a while, turn that notification bell on. And if you're a real deal supporter, man, consider hopping on our Patreon. It's one of the best ways you can get behind what we're doing here at King's Dream Entertainment. You get access to the extended videos, you get all the music early, you get a weekly video conference call with me, all kinds of cool stuff, man. So anyway, consider joining the Patreon. Listen, I had a very good day today. I got up early, went to the gym, made sure I got my IG proverb video done. If you aren't, follow me on Instagram. We do a weekly live stream, a daily live stream where we cover a proverb, talk about all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm super excited. I ended up watching this interview with Nick Cannon and VladTV, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. Now, before I get into it, just so you guys know, I'm actually a fan of what Nick Cannon represents for the culture. I love what he's doing as an entrepreneur. I appreciate all the artists he's put on, all the opportunities created for other people. Fellow San Diego native. As far as I know, his dad runs his nonprofit, still does some ministry work as a pastor. Nick Cannon grew up in a Christian home, so I appreciate Nick Cannon. Vlad, fellow Soviet, come on. Y'all know I love Vlad, man. Watch a lot of his interviews, and so this interview rubbed me the wrong way. Nick Cannon's kind of been saying some shriv stuff about marriage and monogamy and, you know, all kinds of stuff for a while, saying he doesn't want to be married and just wants a companion but not a wife, and all kinds of stuff that I don't personally rock with. But I think this interview right here really set it over the top for me, and I just felt compelled to react to it. I knew I was going to do a reaction video to it. But then things kind of took an interesting course the rest of my day. And this is an interview. Vlad is asking Nick about his thoughts on the Cardi B and Offset tension in the media. If you guys don't know the backstory, Cardi B, she's a rapper. Offset from the Migos, he's a rapper. They are married. They have a baby together. Long story short, Offset got caught, you know, trying to cheat. Cardi B lost it. They've been separated. I think they're back together now. I hope they're back together now. But it's been all over the media, and it's been wild. And so Vlad asks Nick Cannon his thoughts about it, and it got weird, and I didn't like it, but I wanted to share with you guys and get your thoughts.
I hope they prevail, because I feel like their connection is greater than just that, because eventually, if you really want to work on your union and you got a child together, it's gonna have to go beyond the superficiality of, you know, me out here wanting this or doing this or making a mistake here. Like, y'all got a family. Y'all got to figure that out.
I mean, I just think people put so much emphasis on sex and monogamy.
Yeah.
It's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's so unrealistic. Especially when you talk about people, you know, who are in the public eye, who, you know, men, you know, I mean, women already know them way before they ever see them in person and so forth. They're doing shows. There's women that throw their panties on stage.
You know how I feel about monogamy, man. I feel like monogamy is not natural.
Yeah.
It's look at every animal on the planet besides like penguins and seahorses. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, how do you know that, Nick?
Penguins and seahorses.
They're the only monogamous creatures on the planet, man.
He's like researched this. Like spent time researching this.
It's just not. Our animal instinct is to be attracted to someone. Now, if you have the control enough to act on it, and it goes back to what I was talking about, the access to excess, it's real easy to buy step one chick, but when you got 50 coming at you, like Chris Rock said it, he was like, gonna catch up with you at some point. Like, you can run from the all you want, but it's gonna catch up with you.
Wow. Okay, so first of all, Vlad's, you know, it's so unrealistic to be monogamous. There's such an emphasis on monogamy. I'm like, what, bro? What are you talking about, baby? What are you talking about? And then Nick Cannon's point about monogamy is unnatural and only penguins and sea. First of all, how do you even know that? Like, this man spent time digging in, trying to figure out penguins and sea and what animals are naturally monogamous. And like, he like spent time researching this. Like, that's hilarious to me. The fact that he actually dug deep on this topic. Now, I'm watching this. I'm getting frustrated. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting here like, especially if Nick Cannon was brought up in a Christian home. I don't know where he is with the Lord right now, but I feel like, look, like, no, bro. Like, no. You better be better than a freaking animal. Like, be better than your instincts. Be better than the things that you naturally feel. Like, be disciplined as a man, especially with the Me Too movement happening. All these different, the R. Kelly docuseries, the rape culture consistently dismissing men's responsibility for their own sexuality. So we do it again, and instead of saying, well, I'm not going to be clear about getting, so well, I'm just going to be a hoe, and I'm just going to sleep around. I'm going to have multiple, and then when I'm done doing that, monogamy is too hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out some type of sister wives situation where I could have multiple wives and they could rotate. And well, that's how you're supposed to be, man. It's not natural. Like, it's not natural for humans to be monogamous. So I'm sitting there, I'm super frustrated, and a couple verses came to me. Proverbs 14:12. There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death. There is a way. That seems right on the surface. Like, well, we have urges, we have our primal urges as people, and we're it's just hard for us to fight those urges. And so men, we're hunters and gatherers in the evolutionary chain, and it's like, look, that seems right. Like, that seems right, but it's the way that's gonna end is not good. Like, that's not gonna end well for you if you're gonna follow and live a life where you are trying to figure out how to get your significant other to do a three-way, or allow somebody else in the bedroom, or have multiple open relationships or whatever. And I know this stuff is being promoted in culture, and we're very dismissive about just being monogamous. Like, yo, like, it's okay. And then this other verse, I started thinking of this other verse. This is Jesus speaking. I didn't say it. Jesus said it. This is the Pharisees. They're confronting Jesus. They said, Moses permitted a man to write a certificate of divorce and send her away. Jesus says, no, but it was because your hearts were hard that Moses wrote you this law. So that's interesting. First of all, that's an interesting observation. They're saying, look, the law says we could divorce our wives. They were divorcing their wives for very petty reasons at the time. And at the time, economically, if you divorced your wife, she was practically homeless. She was abandoned. She was left to just, like, really bad things happen. So the context here is heavier because women weren't in the same positions as they are now. And Jesus is saying, look, Moses wrote this because your hearts were hard. Then Jesus replied, but at the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Not your primal urges, not your desires. Let no one separate that. And my position is always going to be better than your instincts, because the things you're going to be naturally inclined to do is to sleep in late, is to overeat, is to not make the most of your days, and is to let your eyes wander, let your thoughts wander. My thing is, be better than your instincts. And so for me, guys, I've been married 10 years. I've been with my wife a total of 14 years. I've never came close to cheating. I've never positioned myself to cheat. Right now, if you go to the bar long enough, eventually you're gonna have a drink. I've just refused to go to the bar because I got no business being at the bar. Like, I don't play that. I don't play those games. Like, I got way too much at stake. So I'm sitting here. I'm thinking about this. I'm getting frustrated. I'm thinking about, the people that co-sign Nick, and just knowing that he's a good guy, and the misinformation that's being spread. And I'm honestly getting puffed up. I'm like, yeah, I'm a good man. Married 10 years, never cheated on my wife. And then in my suggested views on YouTube, this video came up. And it was about Pastor John Gray coming out on cheating on his wife. Pastor John Gray, I've met him before at Catalyst Conference. We have mutual friends and acquaintances. And I saw this video and I was like, oh, wow. I didn't know this happened. This is his first Sunday preaching as, I guess, the official pastor at his church, Relentless Church. and he asked God what to talk about, and God told him to talk about this, talk about how, you know, he failed in his marriage. And so I was like, all right, well, let's look at this video.
And what's strange is I traveled the whole world, and the Holy Ghost showed up, and people got saved, and me and my wife just kept smiling, and nobody knew that we were getting ready to get a divorce. Because as long as I kept producing, nobody cared what was happening at home. Because as long as we can use you, we will. And then when you fail, we'll find someone else. Just do me a favor and keep smiling, keep producing, fly all over the world, fight for everybody else's family while your own marriage is falling apart, while your kids are crying for you every night, wondering when daddy's coming home, but you're doing the best you can to provide, and you're really scared to come home because you don't know how to be a husband or a father because you didn't see either one. So you just got to keep smiling until it all falls apart. And I started listening to the wrong voices and let some people get too close. And she found out, and she set it off, just like a good wife should.
Watch this.
And then I prayed for them and him, and then the devil loses.
She got a
Because
mic
what's
from him.
not going
That
to
was
happen
hard.
is you tell me that I'm going to lose my purpose because somebody whispered to a 16-year-old John. The devil is a lie. I'm standing with my husband, and you can go on back to the pits of hell where you came from.
Wow, there's so much there. Now, the way she grabbed the mic from him is hard. She went on and talked about kind of in detail about what, I guess, some of the stuff that had happened. And what I'm not advocating is like if a man cheats on a woman, you're instantly supposed to forgive. That's not what I'm talking about. We don't know the timeline of this. We don't know what happened. But I'm sitting here I'm thinking about it, reflecting on it, and this really hit home for me because one, this is a pastor, this is a leader, this is somebody that has a platform. Two, I've had 3 different close friends in my personal circle go through divorces. And I've been right in the middle of them walking through just the turmoil that it causes on both of the people, the community, the kids. Oh, it's just unimaginable, man. It's just unimaginable. And so I'm sitting here and I'm very, I don't think I saw those 2 videos by coincidence, back to back. I don't think I saw those by coincidence. I think God was speaking to me, and the thought that I got was like, yo, but by the grace of God, there I am. Like, but by 1 or 2 choices, 1 or 2 mistakes, I could be in that situation. And the thing that they talked about in that first clip I showed you guys, Nick called it the excess of access, where you now have more access to people of the opposite sex. And VladTV was like, yeah, you know, when you was growing up, you'd have to meet a girl in school or at the mall or something like that. Now you got Instagram, people sliding in each other's DMs, and you have Tinder where people could just go and meet people, boom, hook up, just like that, right? That the time has changed. Technology has made everything so much more easily accessible. And I'm not immune from this. Like, I get chicks that slide into my DMs, which is crazy. Like, I'm celebrating my family, but I'll get like the messages with the heart emojis occasionally, and I just, just decline button. I just go, poof, decline it. But I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be on this like platform and to be a quote unquote celebrity, with a bigger platform, and the pressure that must bring, and the isolation that must bring. Most of my friends that are celebrities, they're not more happy. They're not more content. They're actually dealing with mental health stuff, and it becomes amplified. Success, money, these things just amplify who you already are. So if you're struggling with discipline, you're struggling with self-control, you're struggling with money management, what you think is going to happen when you get a little money and get a little recognition? You know what I mean? And so I read this verse. This verse came to me, and it's 1 Timothy 3:2. It says, therefore, an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, and able to teach. I always used to read that verse. This is the qualifications for an elder. And I always used to read that verse and be like, oh, no. That's for elders. That's not for me. And I was wrong. And that verse is for me. That verse is for Christians, Christian men and women. That is the standard. That is what we should be fighting for. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I think Nick Cannon might be right. If we just go by our natural vices and our natural inclinations and what we feel and our instincts, even if we're in Christ and we're not careful with our lives, we're not careful with our marriages, we could slide into the same situation. We could slide into the same situations. And so for me, this verse, therefore an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife. Okay, I got that. I'm working towards being above reproach. I'm working towards being blameless, sober-minded, not somebody that's emotional and just goes off the head and just says whatever they feel. Self-controlled, which I've been working on. I've been telling you guys, I've been waking up at 5:30, going to the gym, starting my days early. Respectable, hospitable, able to teach. We do this YouTube thing, but the hospitable part, I got to be a better host. Like, I got to be more welcoming. I got to be more inclusive with when I meet people. There's a lot that I was convicted by today, if I'm honest with you guys. Like, there's a lot that I was convicted by, and I couldn't just be dismissive. I couldn't just be like, well, you know, I'm a good guy. I've been married 10 years. Like, nah, you know, I could be doing more. I could be more self-controlled. I could be more diligent. I could live my life more above reproach. And so, you know, those of you guys, y'all like leave these comments sometimes. And you guys would be like, yo, first of all, I love it when you guys comment. Please comment, like, share these videos. But y'all are like, yo, this channel, your channel needs more subs. Why you only got, you know, so few subs? And I'm like, or you guys will watch one of our music videos on the King's Dream YouTube page and you'll be like, yo, y'all need more clout. This needs more recognition. Y'all are slept on. This needs more subs. Like, don't say that kind of stuff. Like, no, we don't. Like, God has us right where he needs us. God has us right where he needs us. And I enjoy the process, and I enjoy providing for my family, and I enjoy the slow growth, and I enjoy you guys, those of you guys that I get to see every Sunday night when we do our Patreon live streams, when we get in a big video call and we chop it up. I enjoy this stuff, man, being able to reply to all your guys' DMs, Facebook messages, superphone comments. I enjoy that stuff. So no, I don't need more subscribers. I need to be faithful and effective. And if God decides to bring the growth, then he'll bring the growth, man. So yeah, weird day for me, man. None of this was by accident. Hopefully this speaks to some of you guys. In the comments section, I really do want to hear from you guys. I want to see what you guys think about this. I feel like this is a topic that we seldom talk about in the church. And you married, single? Have you been through a divorce? Have you been cheated on? All that kind of stuff in the comments section. You guys want to hear me talk about more about these kind of like social, cultural norms that are happening? Man, salute to Vlad and Pastor John Gray and Nick Cannon. I don't know if they'll ever see this, but salute to you guys. Love everything y'all are doing. God bless you. Peace.